Thank you, President Cartwright. Trustees, faculty, and staff, thank you for the way that year after year you make me feel so very, very proud to be a Knight. And graduates and families, what an honor it is to be invited into your homes today. This is a unique year for commencements. I know that when you began your university journey, you didn't think you would cap it off with a ceremony in your family room, your living room, your pool deck, lanai, or wherever you happen to be today. But the graduation march for every American commencement is pomp and circumstance. And I would like to salute UCF for providing as much pomp as the circumstances allow. As President Cartwright said, I'm an alumnus of this university, and I hasten to point out that I did not graduate in the arena either. The arena did not exist at that time, nor did any other campus building large enough for a commencement. So the school drained the reflecting pond and set up folding chairs in it. We graduated in the fountain. Also, our university was not called UCF at the time. It was Florida Technological University. But when I reflect on it, I think the biggest distinction between your commencement today and the one I had many years ago is how I viewed the future then and how you are thinking about the future right now. I'm standing today in the American Adventure Pavilion at Epcot in front of a painting called The Promise of America by Disney legend Herb Ryman. Herb was the artistic genius who executed the first concept sketches for Disneyland in California. He was retired by the time we opened Walt Disney World, but he came out of retirement to design many of the elements here. The Promise of America captures the hope of a nation. Yet, when I graduated from this university, that seemed diminished. 12 years earlier, while I was still in elementary school, Congress had passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It was not smooth sailing. The legislation was stalled for 75 days by a filibuster in the Senate. Even after it was passed, there was widespread bias. There was resentment. There was a privileged class that did not want to relinquish its privilege. Desegregation, civil rights, and equal opportunity were the law of the land, but they were not the will of many of the people. Throughout my years at college, it was obvious that there was a great disparity. During my freshman year, another important piece of legislation, the Equal Opportunity Act, was passed. Yet, it was obvious that equality was still a very long way off. Think now of your college years. True, the journey to true equality is not complete, but I have never seen the desire for justice burn so brightly. Think of the shock and the dismay and the outcries that you felt and you witnessed at the killings of Breonna Taylor, of George Floyd, and unfortunately, so many others. University students have long been the moral conscience of our nations, and in conversations, on social media, and elsewhere, you've made your voices heard. Only a month and a half ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 applied to LGBTQ people as well, that they could not be discriminated against for being what they had been born to be. If you were astonished that it took a Supreme Court ruling to require 29 states to make this their law, rest assured, as a gay man, I share your astonishment. If you were indignant that it took 56 years for this to come to pass, then I am proud of you. When I graduated from this university, it went without saying that gay people stayed quiet about who and what they were. People of color did not have that option, so they graduated into a world that seemed determined to remain slanted and biased. Today, we are better than that. You are better than that. Reinforced by events that have taken place during the latter years of your education, you know that it takes much more than tolerance to create equality. And as we have seen through the outcries that have been made, you, the next leaders in our society, have decided and are insisting on doing something about it. Recently, President Cartwright shared something with me that lifted my heart. The University of Central Florida is not only the largest university in Florida, it also has an extraordinarily diverse student body. Nearly half of all UCF students identify as people of color. Here's why that's important. Education is an essential component in determining who we are, but it is not the only component. There are certain things that can only be learned by experience, who we grew up with and where we grew up. That foundational awareness helps determine how we view the world. It's crucial. And on the whole, if the perspectives accumulated by our companies, our universities, or other organizations, if that slants too heavily toward one community, valuable points of view are lost. We all carry with us knowledge that cannot be learned in the abstract. It has to be lived. That worldview can be a valuable and positive asset for businesses and organizations in literally every industry that there is. And here's a fact. The businesses that excel are the businesses that embrace everyone. Great organizations want every person to do well, and it takes every voice to accomplish that. We have moved forward in the long journey towards social justice, and we have moved forward in many other areas as well. When I received my diploma from this university, spaceflight was a pursuit exercised by nations. Today, private companies are going to space to make the world a better place for everyone. When I graduated, computers with scores of gigabytes of storage and high-speed processors were the exclusive province of governments and major corporations. Today, we all have one of those in our pockets. Today, I can get on a call with colleagues in Paris, look them in the eye, share a document with them, and not think anything of it. Working through the pandemic, after one such call, a team member said to me, "I cannot believe how quickly we are getting things done." I'm pointing this out to make one thing clear. Every generation since the Industrial Revolution has graduated with better minds, brighter ideas, smarter ways of doing things. Your class is no exception. But what does make you exceptional is that your hearts are in exactly the right place as well. It is practically the duty of a commencement speaker to tell you that you are about to change the world and make it a better place. I'm doing that today, but I want to make something clear. I absolutely, positively believe it. So, do well for yourselves. When I was where you are today, my focus was on career. Careers are important, so I am certain you are thinking about yours as well. Yet, as I speak with university students and recent graduates today, I sense that you've upped the ante a little bit. I get the impression that you wish to do well for yourselves, but it's important to you to do well for the world at the same time. I applaud that. I encourage you to do just that. Make the world a place with deeper justice, with hope in abundance for communities that have rarely seen hope. Make it a place where comfort zones are not defined by sameness. When Herb Ryman painted The Promise of America, that promise was that people would have the ability to better themselves. I am proud today to address a class that understands what's possible right now and what was never possible to this degree before, the promise of bettering others, the promise of bettering the planet. I hope that when you look back on your days at UCF, the predominant element will not be that of social distancing, but of social advancement, how you learned to elevate us as a people. I look forward to seeing you put that education to work. I look forward to seeing you put who you are to work. Go Knights, charge on, and thank you.